So, if I had to make a function that somehow took people's statuses and returned either happy or unhappy, true or false, I guess the first thing that I would think about is what's the purpose, right? What's the goal of this? Because depending on what your objective might be completely different the way you measure that status at all, right? I mean, I guess you can think of a status as a couple things. Either it's text, or maybe even photos, maybe even videos, maybe even links. I mean, even a link, like someone links an article to New York Times. How do you know that's happy? How do you know that's sad? I mean, the text is kind of, I think, what people probably think about the most, right? Well, we'll take a list of happy words, and we'll go through and scan through and see if there are happy words there, maybe some sad words. If there are more happy words than sad words, it's a happy thing, or whatever. Or maybe another way to do it is using emoticons, right? I mean, you got a semicolon, minus sign, parentheses, sad or happy, right? But I mean, what do you do with the more difficult status updates, like photos, right? I mean, are you going to run a complex algorithm that actually looks at people's smiles and sees how much white smile teeth to frowny face kind of ratio there is? I mean, that's one way to do it. Another way that you could think about it is through video. I mean, maybe it's all about the mood. So maybe what you're looking at is a color tone, right? Like if it's blue and sad and gray, maybe that's a sad thing because someone uploaded some emo punk ass music video or whatever. Happy, I don't know what kind of music video is happy. What's that country girl? Like Taylor Swift? Or are those sad? I'm not really sure. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of ways you can do it. I mean, if you're thinking about happy and sad from a social perspective too, right? Like maybe what you're doing is you're looking at not just statuses, but also people's comments that people are leaving, right? Like, yay, and maybe that's an even better indicator of whether somebody's really happy or not. And going back to like, I mean, these are all kind of thoughts and implementations of how you might go about it, but yeah, ultimately, I think it goes back to what is the purpose of all this? Like what are you trying to do? If you have some, if you have a problem space, I guess that's too big. Right? You don't know why you're getting the status in the first place, and how you measure it might be absolutely different. And that's kind of one of the hardest things, even with my designer students. Understanding the problem space and narrowing it down to something small so you can take a look at it and figure out what exactly is it that you want to achieve with your measurements or goals. And normally, if you can narrow a problem space down, it becomes a lot easier to figure out exactly what you should be looking for, whether that's text or photos or videos or comments. Again, I mean, this is kind of a big problem, and it's kind of an interesting one. Um, but yeah, in a nutshell, I guess those are some of the things that I think about, and it all comes back to going back to what's the objective and what's the goal. All right, take care.